Welcome back to another episode of the Ed Block Courage Cast with your host, Alec Ingold. And today I'm here with the legend, man, over a decade in the league, been bouncing around doing his thing. Now he's back home. Tyrann Mathieu, my man, how are you doing? How is the offseason treating you? What have you been up to, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. Off season for me, man, is I think mostly about, making up for lost time. You know what I mean? Like with my kids and stuff like that. So that's been cool. Hanging out with my dad. And then too, man, like man, like you can never really like take your mind off football. You know what I mean? Like you gotta stay in it somehow. So but it's been fun though, man. I'm still enjoying it.
You're the pros pro, man. Like over a decade in this, playing at the highest level. You're back home now in New Orleans. I have one of my best friends, one of your teammates now, Foster Morrow. He's also back home doing his thing.
Yeah.
How is it in the locker room with
Yeah.
those guys the past couple of years doing your thing? What's it been like back in New Orleans for you, my man?
Now it's been cool, man. You talk about Foster. That's my fellow Catholic League brother right there. Even though he went to a rival high school, of mine. But it's been fun, man. To be honest, man. Like I tell a lot of people, I'll probably start with this. On the field, it hasn't really been what we thought it was going to be. So, we obviously want to turn that around. But I'll probably say off the field, it's been more than, what I expected. I think coming back home, at first, man, I, was kind of worried, right? By like all the distractions and, people just want your time. But most people have been really, really good. They've been really, really supportive of me. And it's kind of helped me kind of enjoy these 2 years, despite us, not winning as much. So it's been fun, though, man. Like I said, being back around family, friends, my dad, having them have that chance to really like see me up close, each and every week, play. That's been fun. I know they'll probably always remember that.
There's so many memories in the NFL that, when you're getting drafted, when you get picked, you go through the highs and lows, right? You have injuries you
Yeah,
come back from. You get an Ed Block Courage Award in 2014. You're able to do that with a number of different athletes doing their thing. And it helps you kind of build up that reputation of who you are, no matter what the cost is, no matter what the results are, to have that consistency throughout however you approach the season. That's what I get to see when I get to go up against you whiffing blocks when I was a
yeah,
rookie. You were with the Chiefs, man. You were making me look silly out there.
yeah.
But being able to get that award back in 2014 to kind of set that stage and being like, no matter what you throw at me, I'm gonna come back stronger and better. What's that kind of been like for the rest of your career since that point?
Man, to be honest, it was really, really fundamental. I think when I came into the league, man, obviously I had a lot of, baggage, from LSU and, a lot of different, perceptions about, who I am. And once I got drafted to the Cardinals, man, it was a breath of fresh air for me, right? To like go in the locker room because I was usually like the alpha male in most locker rooms that I entered, right? And when I got to the league, man, I was so fortunate, and I tell kids this all the time, who ask me for advice, right? Like, how did you do it? And I'm like, man, like I was blessed because like I had dudes like Patrick Peterson and Larry Fitzgerald, right? Like Calais Campbell, guys who's like they've won Man of the Year awards. They've done a lot of things with their foundations, right? Like even some of them have won Ed Block Coverage Award, right? Like so, I think having those guys to kind of follow, as a youngster, man, I think I was like 20 years old, right? And
Yeah, that's outstanding, man. And to be able to carry that torch a whole decade later, how are you that leader now in the locker room when you're showing guys the ropes? You have these awards, you have the recognition, but you also notice these points where you feel fulfilled, right? You know what fills your cup up and walking with purpose in the locker room every day. What are some of the ways that you're kind of leading by example or vocally with some of the younger guys right now in the building?
well, for me, man, I'd probably say on the field, man, I'm probably the vocal leader. Right?
Mhm.
Like I'm always going, I'm always jacking. But off the field, man, I'm one of those guys that really just kind of lead by example. I try to come to work with a clear mind. You know what I mean? I try to come to work, ready to work. And what the picture I try to paint for these youngsters, man, is man, like we know football. We know what football can do for you, right? Like, and for all of us, right? Like just that competitive spirit. just the energy that you get from, winning the game or making the play, right? And I try to equate that to, man, like if you just give some of these people 10 minutes of your time, 30 minutes of
Mm.
your time, right? Like if you can just give yourself to the community that you're playing in, man, like I mean, it does so much of football for me is psychological, right? Like, and if I can walk into a stadium and I can tell myself, man, like just my family is supporting me, right? And but what if I can walk in there feeling like everybody in that seat is rooting for me? You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
of the things that I've done, throughout the week, throughout the year, within the community. Man, it's almost like a superpower hack. You know what I mean? And I just try to get youngsters to believe in that because so many of them think everything is just all about the grass. You know what I mean? And man, you can make an impact far beyond, just the football field.
That's real. That's real. And walking that walk off of the grass. Speaking of that, you made a play. You were at the broadcasting workshop. A lot of people, a lot of buzzing. I had a lot of information, a lot of high hopes for you, and everyone's female. Man, Tyrann just crushed it, man. He's such a great speaker. He's doing his thing out at LSU. Now he comes to broadcasting workshop. What was that experience like for you to kind of bring that awareness and your intentionality beyond the game, beyond the grass, into the broadcasting space?
Man, as you would know, man, is it a realization? You know what I mean? Because I think as football players, we've been doing it so long, right? And I think, in our minds, we're the experts and we just know how it go. We know how it's supposed to be said, how it's supposed to be taught. But when you dive in that space, man, you realize that, wow, this is a lot of work. You know what I
That
mean? And
it,
it makes you grateful, right? Because I just remember all the good people that I've met that were sports writers, that did interviews, right? I try to put myself in their space, you know what I mean? And it was a great experience for me, you know what I mean? And probably one that I, really look forward to doing more. I think us as athletes were like that, though, right? Like if you give us a taste of something, man, like we want to go all the way with it. You know what I mean? And so I feel that. But man, is it a lot of work.
it's a lot of it's a full profession, man, and it's something where now you get the opportunity of having active player business decisions when you're in the media, right? How do I say things? You're the master at it.
Yeah,
You've been mastering your craft for a long time, and now to be able to speak and use that platform for good to inspire that next generation, whether it's with a foundation off the field, but also broadcasting, man. That's you're walking the walk, man. I appreciate everything you've been doing. I appreciate the time today. I'm gonna cut you loose in respect to time, but really appreciate the time we've been able to share together as a competitor. Best luck, best of health this next year. Keep an eye on my guys, Derek Carr, Foster Morrow, all those guys in the Saints locker room. Oh man,
yeah.
appreciate the rest of your offseason. Take time with that family. Thank you so much for the time today, man.